On today's show, we talk about the second volume of Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples' saga.
And Francesco Francavilla joins J.H. Williams III in Batwoman 21.
And we see if Daniel is still infatuated with Supergirl 21. Okay, so in the very first episode of this show, it was the very first episode, wow. We talked about Batman and we talked about Saga Vol.1. And however many months later, we now have Saga Vol.2. It feels like this book has taken a long time to get out.
Well, the thing is that we missed out on the singles.
Yeah.
And so had to buy it in trade. So all you lovely people have been fortunate enough to buy it as it's coming out. And we've read it in this format.
And we're getting in this. And they had a little bit of a break. I think between
6 and 7.
6 and 7, yeah. So that's why it was delayed.
It's a very Image thing to do. They did the same with Mind the Gap. They do the first 6, they have a break, and then they come back and do the next 6.
Yeah. So the question is, was that delay worth it with Saga Volume 2?
Well, first of all, let's not even beat around the bush because it's just stupid, fantastic, amazing, wonderful, brilliant, like just all the things. So
it's all the things.
Forget all that for now.
All the things.
I want to give you my one criticism before I give you anything. Like, this book is next level. It's sort of game changing.
Better than first.
Yeah. It's
that was quick. Yep.
It's just awesome in every sense of the word. My criticism is, like, and this is why I love video games, because in a video game like an RPG or something, you get all the backstory you need. You're overloaded on backstory.
Yeah.
Brian K. Vaughan does such a fantastic job of weaving in and out of plot points, and this character who you thought, I haven't heard about him for a while, and but there he is, and it just seems so natural and flowing. But like, this world is so fascinating, and these characters are so interesting that I really want more. I really want more. I see like a character that I love, and I think, foggy, these throwaway characters.
Yeah.
There's a rabbit in the last issue of the second trade. Kind of rabbit character. He's on the first few pages.
Yes.
And he's just fantastic. And it's a throwaway character. We'll never see him again. I want to know about his whole life.
Spin-off.
Yeah, like there's an author in this book. Fascinating. I want to know about him. I want to know more about the robot characters. I want to know more about the... and we get very little of characters that we've loved in the first ones. And it's just like... everything that happens in this series is so interesting. It's just so... oh my god, I'm so into that. That like... when it moves off to something else, I'm not ready for it. Like, but when the other thing comes, I want that as well. Like, I want more, is what I'm saying. That's my criticism. It's too good.
I want more. It's too good.
Yeah. Like,
you've been told, Ryan.
But, no, the way this comic book works, and the characters in it, and the way it's told and the way it looks, it's just spectacular. It's spectacular. It's hilarious, and it seems like it's so effortless. It has that feel about it, like he's just tapped into just something. He's just been really, really lucky, just tapped into something, and oh, look at that. You know, it gives the impression like, oh, if I'd have just had that idea, I could have written a wonderful comic. And it's the same with Why the Last Man. Like,
haven't read it yet.
His writing style is just so familiar and personal and easy to read, and just fantastically funny.
Yeah.
That it just gives off the impression that it's just so easy. Oh yeah, like anyone could have written that, but obviously that's just the impression that it gives. Fiona Staples again does a banging job.
Banging.
Yeah, she does an awesome job. There are just panels in this which you just think, oh, I want that on my wall. You have, so it's not on camera, I don't think. But yeah, she does an awesome job. The covers, some of the best covers in comics at the moment. Just I can't sing enough praises for this book, and the price point. This one's a bit more expensive. Don't care, not bothered. If you're not reading Saga, you've got to pick up these trades because they're pretty much the best that the comic book industry has to offer at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Nah, just fucking with you.
You need to replay my reaction there, because I was about, like, shit was going down.
Oh, that was so funny.
I wanted blood.
That was so worth it. No, I loved it. Of course I loved it. Is it better than the first one? Yes. This is a story that I'm loving. And I love the fact it has almost getting it in these trades.
I'm so happy I'm reading it in trade, to be honest.
It has a series-like feel, you know. The first series was them trying to get off that planet. The next one's their adventures in space. It really does have that vibe. I think you're completely right with the seamlessness of his writing. And, you know, he makes me feel all the feels. You know, I'm happy, I'm sad, like... There are a couple of ends to the issues where my heart was in my mouth and I was just like, oh no!
There's one particular moment.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, we might be talking about two different moments. I think we're talking about the same one.
Lying.
Yeah. That had me sad. But it was fun. He uses the form so brilliantly. And I've got to say, like, Fiona Staples' artwork, it's just... unbelievably good.
The thing is, though, it's not like out there and different.
It's not at all.
It's not like the most creative artwork I've ever seen. Do you know what it is for me? It's the faces. It's the facial expressions.
That's what I was going to say.
So
like,
perfectly.
All of these characters, you get a lot of art. Like someone like Steve Dillon who draws Preacher. Mm-hmm. His artwork, like all of his faces, are the same with a different skin over the top. If you know what I mean. The characters are just there, you know. You can... One of the problems with comic books as opposed to a TV show or a film is that you've got to say what the character's feeling because you can't see it. That's not the case with Saga. Like, all the emotions are just held on their faces.
Well, there's a scene in this that takes place, it's a couple of 2 or 3 pages long, takes place in a completely different language.
You don't need to know what's being said.
Yeah, we don't, like...
I know exactly the bit.
It's amazing because you get... There it is.
Yeah.
And you get everything. You know exactly what's happening and it makes you feel... And
you feel all the feels.
If you can't even... You don't even know what they're saying, but you do as well.
But you know, because it's just there. I just... Everything you said... This is stunning. This is absolutely stunning. It's one of the best books. And yeah, if you're not reading it, I'm very surprised.
And if you don't like comics, I don't know why you're watching the show if you don't like comics, but if you don't like comics, then this is just like, and if you're into great stories and sci-fi, then oh my God.
I mean, seriously, I cannot, praise Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples enough, and Image for putting this out there, because it's fantastic. So good.
Okay, the next book we're talking about 2 books today that neither of us are reading.
Nope.
However...
you were reading.
I was reading Batwoman.
Yeah.
And I was reading Batwoman for, I think, about 12 issues because it was just... Well, that and The Flash were, like, 2 of the most beautiful books that the New 52 was putting out.
But, on story, wasn't it?
Eventually, Batwoman's story was just like, oh, just can't. There was this stupidly long arc that just was never coming to an end, and I was just fed up with it, and... As beautiful as it was, and it was beautiful.
Jake Williams draws it.
Oh, God, them layouts. That I just had to, in the end, I just had to say no. But Francavilla, who we really like, has jumped on. I'm not sure if this is his first issue.
I think so, yeah. I think this might only be a one-shot. Because he seems to be doing one-shots here, there, and everywhere. You know, last month he did Hawkeye, then he was doing the mini-series for Dark Horse, the Black Beetle... so yeah, he seems to be doing a lot of work at the moment, so I think this was just a one-shot.
So how did you feel about it? Did you enjoy it?
I mean, this book isn't a Batwoman story. This is a Killer Croc story, and I always find Killer Croc a bit hokey in the Batman universe, but I find any of the characters like him, like Clayface and Killer Croc, you know, there's just something about them that's, okay, you're a Superman villain because you're... special chemicals made me and all this. So I've always been kind of put off by Killer Croc, but I've got to say, this book was fantastic. it does a really good job of doing one of my favorite traits in comics, which is humanizing the villain and giving them purpose and a reason for what they do, instead of it just being, I'm a senseless killer. It's, I'm a killer, but here's why. I think Frank Cavilla, I'm not sure whether it's Frank Cavilla who was in charge of the layout, or it was J.H. Williams.
Sure, it felt very J.H. Williams to me.
Yeah, that's why I'm not sure, but the layout mixed with his artwork was just fantastic. I read the first 5 issues of the book, and yeah, I've got to say it's the best thing about it is the way it does use layout, and this is the same with this book. I don't know if this is a good jumping on point for people because of the fact that it is a one-shot, but I mean, it's a great book, and if you want a good Killer Croc story, then this is certainly.
I'm sure there are people at home now thinking, "Fuck, I just need a good Killer Croc story."
You know,
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've been looking,
and they're like, "Haha, Killer Croc!" So there you go.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And specifically the art. And it's just so weird because my concern with Frank Cavilla coming on, I love Frank Cavilla, but him coming on, I would have thought that the layouts would have suffered, and they do a bit. It's
nowhere near as intricate.
No, they're not as intricate and as flowing as, but they are still very, very pretty.
Yeah,
reminded me a lot of Swamp Thing.
Yes.
And the story's interesting. I don't know. It's just hard, isn't it? It's hard when you have a creator as wonderful as J.H. Williams III. It's hard because
first world problems over here.
Yeah, because I feel like, oh, maybe it got good. It sort of makes me think, oh, should I have carried on reading it? You can't buy everything, of course you can't, but this is definitely worth a read. If you're interested in comics, if you're interested in the way they look, if you're interested in people changing the mold a bit and trying new things out, that's what this book does. I think if you're creating comics, you should be reading Batwoman.
Yeah.
And The Flash.
That's fair.
But yeah, it just looks awesome. It's a great story.
Okay, so the last book we have to talk about is Supergirl 21. Now, this is a book that neither of us have read, but there was... for us, there was so little out that we decided, hey, let's try something new.
Completely different.
I honestly had no idea if this is any kind of creative change up on 21 or if this is the start of a new story.
To be honest, I have no idea.
Absolutely no idea if I was just going to jump into something. And yeah, in this issue, we find out that Kara is ill. She's been exposed to some kryptonite. And yeah, she decides to go off into space and have, some last adventures and try and help out before she eventually kicks the bucket. A couple of weeks ago, you professed your love for Supergirl and your attraction towards her. Did that continue in this book? Did you enjoy the book?
Okay. I'm going to get the pervy bit out of the way.
I love the pervy hands.
He's going to close up on that, isn't he?
There is some gropey hands.
No.
I love the idea you read the comic like that.
Well, first of all, I like Supergirl in a skirt. Call me old-fashioned. But I like the red. She's wearing just this weird sort of gladiator's outfit.
Yeah, it's on the back here somewhere. I don't know where.
Well, in this one, she's wearing like armor.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't like the armor. I like the skirt.
You like your broads in a skirt, eh?
So I didn't like the way she looked at all. The way she was drawn was an immediate put off. Where's my tea there? Just gonna miss it out.
Put off.
So that was I didn't love the art in general.
Okay.
I didn't really like the story. I mean, to me, this just felt like exactly what I thought a Supergirl book would feel like. This is why
didn't pick it up.
This is why I didn't pick it up in the first place. I read it and I was like, yeah, that's what that is. That's exactly what I knew that would be. Just sort of villains that, I mean, you wouldn't be happy if they turned up in. I mean, they just used.
Oh, hey, I was happy with the end.
Yeah, they like no.
I was like, there he is.
Oh, yeah, but no. I mean, to be honest, I have zero to say on this because it wasn't like offensively bad. It wasn't like, how is this being published?
No, well, you were reading Superman.
Well, no, that was offensively
I was
bad.
about to say, like, in comparison of the two.
That was really just like, Jesus Christ. But this was just...
Jesus Christ on a cracker.
Yeah. This was just like, well, I guess if you're into sort of bland stories, this is for you. It wasn't, I don't know, I have nothing to say about this.
I certainly don't think it was
Did
that
I
bad.
hate it? No, it was fine. Am I going to pick it up ever? No.
I enjoyed this. I like the artwork in it. I like the design of Supergirl in it.
You know, I don't like I never liked that on women, just the crotch thing, just the whole, you know, like the swimsuit thing, and just the whole of the leg.
Tell you what makes a helm hollow. Makes a lot more sense than a skirt.
But that's what I like about Supergirl. I like that it's a bit
Didn't make
different.
sense. No, you see, my problem with the costume is the boots and the way it turns. Like, it goes all the way past the knee, like just past the knee. But it doesn't cover the knee. It covers around the knee, but not the knee. And I'm like, that's no use. What if you fall over in a fight and you're like,
well,
if only I'd protected that little bit of knee.
She's Kryptonian.
What if she falls over on some kryptonite and she's like, ah?
Well, I mean, even if she had the knee things, if she fell over on kryptonite, she's going to be fucked anyway.
Well, so that was my one concern with the costume. I actually really enjoyed this book. I don't think I'll be continuing it because I am picking up a lot better. But hey, if you want to read some Supergirl, I think it's worth picking up. It's a place where you can jump on if you do want to read it. Again, it's not something that I'm going to be picking up, but I did enjoy it for the most part. I enjoyed the kind of Supergirl saves the day and the reveal at the end. I felt as though there was a big gap in the middle after she'd saved the day and before the reveal, where it was like, a lot of talking, a lot of exposition, don't really care.
Because you don't give a fuck about that character. If you want to read some Supergirl, there is a Supergirl,
He knows.
Damian Wayne crossover, which I think was, it was either early in the New 52 or it was just before. And it's a Damian Wayne Supergirl team up, and it's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah,
and
he's wearing a skirt.
And he fancies her a bit, and Dick Grayson makes fun of. I know it must be before New 52.
Yeah,
because Dick Grayson is Batman, I think, at the time, and he makes fun of him, and he's like, "Shut up," and it's just really nice. So seek that out. Or
Christ on Infinite Earth. I hear that's a good one as well. Okay, so that'll do us for this week's show. It was a very odd week this week as far as what was coming out. So what were you guys picking up? I saw a few of your suggestions last week, including Six Gun Gorilla, which I'm going to pick up because it looks awesome. So yeah, tell us down below what are you reading. Also over on Twitter, @ComicBookShow1. We like to hear from you over there.
Yeah, and don't forget to join us on Wednesday where it is semi-final time. We continue on our quest to find the greatest superhero of all time.
And we're changing it up a bit.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
And also join us on Friday where we have a brand new game to introduce.
It's going to be a good week. We will see you throughout the rest of it. And goodbye.
And farewell.
Most awkward ending ever.